Wild West was not the land of freedom we imagine. It was a world of blood, betrayal, and survival. Cowboys weren't just herders. They were drifters walking a thin line between law and lawlessness. Outlaws like Jesse James became folk heroes, while sheriffs hunted them with a ruthless hand. Behind the dusty streets and saloon doors, America's identity was being forged in gunpowder and gold. But what secrets still lie buried in the untold stories of the frontier? Stay with us as we uncover the secret history of the Wild West. And don't forget to subscribe for more hidden stories of history. The American frontier of the late 19th century was a world unlike any other. Endless prairies stretched to the horizon, deserts burned under a merciless sun, and law was often nothing more than the fastest draw of a revolver. This was the stage where dreams and nightmares collided. The Wild West. Cowboys drove cattle across thousands of miles, their songs echoing through the night. But they were not the clean-cut heroes Hollywood painted. Many were poor, restless, and constantly at risk of death from storms, stampedes, or bandits. Then came the outlaws, men and women who chose rebellion over order. Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Belle Starr, names whispered in fear and admiration. To some, they were criminals. To others, they were symbols of freedom against a corrupt system. Meanwhile, sheriffs and marshals like Wyatt Earp and Pat Garrett rose to enforce the law, sometimes with justice, sometimes with brutality. Towns like Dodge City and Tombstone became arenas where legends were born in the smoke of gunfights. The Wild West was not just about duels and robberies, it was about survival in a land where every choice could mean life or death. And in that crucible, the myths of America were forged. But beneath the dust and the myths, the truth of the Wild West is darker, more human. Take Jesse James. To the banks he robbed, he was a villain. To poor farmers, he was a Robin Hood striking back at the elites who had crushed the South after the Civil War. His gang terrorized trains and banks, yet crowds cheered for him. Was he a hero, or just a killer cloaked in legend? Then there was Billy the Kid, a boy who became a gunman. By age 21, he had killed at least 8 men, some say more. His smile was charming, his trigger quick. But behind the myth was a youth caught in endless cycles of revenge and survival. The law, embodied by Sheriff Pat Garrett, would not rest until Billy lay dead. Cowboys, too, carried their own secrets. Far from the glamorous riders in movies, many were African American, Mexican, or Native American, forgotten voices erased from the myth. They worked back-breaking hours, risked ambush on lonely trails, and spent lonely nights under stars that offered no comfort. Meanwhile, towns grew wild with greed. The discovery of gold and silver turned quiet valleys into lawless boom towns overnight. Gambling halls, brothels, and saloons thrived. Fists, knives, and pistols decided disputes faster than courts. And yet, in this chaos, something remarkable happened. The American imagination was born. Every outlaw who robbed a train, every lawman who faced him down, every cowboy who sang to the herd under the moon, they all became part of a story larger than themselves. But danger was always closing in. It all came to a head in Tombstone, Arizona, October 26, 1881. The air was heavy with tension as Wyatt Earp, his brothers, and Doc Holliday faced the Clanton gang. 30 seconds of gunfire would echo for a century. The gunfight at the OK Corral became the most famous shootout in American history. In less than a minute, lives were lost, legends were made, and the myth of the Wild West crystallized forever. But the truth? It wasn't about justice or evil. It was about power, pride, and survival in a lawless world. The West was never clean-cut. It was blood-stained, messy, and deeply human. When the smoke cleared, the Wild West slowly faded. Railroads tamed the land, barbed wire fenced the open ranges, and the frontier closed by 1890. But the legends refused to die. Jesse James became a folk hero sung in ballads. Billy the Kid's smile haunted dime novels. Wyatt Earp lived long enough to see Hollywood turn his life into myth. And the cowboy, once a struggling laborer, was transformed into America's eternal symbol of freedom and grit. The Wild West was never just about the past. It was about the human spirit, the hunger for freedom, the lure of danger, and the thin line between good and evil. Its secret history reminds us. Legends are not born in peace, but in struggle. This was the Wild West, where outlaws lived fast, lawmen died hard, and America found its mythic soul. If you enjoyed this journey into history, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories of the past.